All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Deontay Wilder and Vasyl Lomachenko are attacked by ESPN's Mark Kriegel, called sore losers and not what boxing is all about. From a guy that don't know squat about boxing, like Mark Kriegel, that is something special to be said. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, and thank you everybody that sends me articles and information on Instagram. It is very, very, very helpful. This one that was sent to me was a little bit disturbing because I just don't like Mark Kriegel. Just quite honestly, don't like him. Don't think he knows very much about the sport of boxing. I don't think he's a very good writer. I think he keeps using that trope, oh, poor black fighter and how miserable your life is and how you fought your way out of the ghetto type of nonsense, right? That doesn't need to be said for every fighter that comes up. So I'm not a big fan of Mark Kriegel. I just don't think he's very good. I think that he is a good old boy placement in ESPN, and that he's sitting there talking to world champions and he doesn't know what he's talking about when he's talking to them. So when he, in his very educated voice, right, in his mediocrely written, and I'm not saying I'm a great writer, but let me tell you, Mark Kriegel will never be confused with James Baldwin, okay? Never. Regardless, he is good for a boxing journalist, though. He does write well for a boxing journalist. So I have to assume that he was the one that wrote, because they call him an essayist, that wrote this essay in the presentation of ESPN's fights that they're going to have coming up this year. And in the midst of this essay that the essayist wrote, not the boxing fan, not the knowledgeable boxing guy, no. Mark Kriegel, the guy who, like Max Kellerman, the only reason that they're covering boxing at all is because earlier in their career, they couldn't get a job covering something else. Mark Kriegel wanted to cover baseball. I don't know what it is that Max Kellerman wanted to cover, but they only got their break because they got lucky enough to meet black men. What did I just say? Yeah, let me say it again. They were only reason that either one of those guys are where they are today is because two black dudes gave them breaks and said, hey, man, will you put this message out for me that I can't get out in the mainstream media? And Mark Kriegel did that for Larry Holmes, and Max Kellerman did that for Pernell Whitaker. But with those two great fighters, so ended any semblance of caring about the plight of those type of fighters after they got what they needed. And if you do not believe that that is how that operates, trust me, it is. Look at YouTube. There is a relationship between the boxer and the writer. And many times the boxer will behave as if they own the writer, right? Because they're the one giving them the news. They want the good spin. They want the good information out there. And they develop the relationship with the writer that can give it to them, right? Pernell Whitaker, one of the best fighters in the world, uses Max Kellerman and gives Max Kellerman a bunch of interviews that other people wouldn't have got on his television show. Black fans listen. Ooh, what is it that Pernell got to say? Because I sure can't hear anybody else talk about him. So let me go over to Max Kellerman to hear what Pernell got to say, right? Because that's how I knew Max Kellerman. Because nobody would cover black fighters or give black fighters the credit that they were due. So whenever you hear it, you get attracted to the guy that's doing it. But after that, Max Kellerman turned into a company man. And Mark Kriegel, I'm sure. I didn't pay attention to him closely enough, but I definitely remember that it was Larry Holmes that put that guy on early in his career because he used to work for Showtime. But I digress. I just wanted to show you why that's just nonsense. These guys are not boxing guys, okay? Max Kellerman's not a boxing guy. Mark Kriegel's not a boxing guy. Those guys are journalists or they are interviewers or whatever you want to call them. So when Mark Kriegel comes out and in just a couple words, see, all I need, because I can read, is a couple words. When you say that you call them sore losers and say that they are not what boxing is about, and they showed back-to-back pictures. Lomachenko, which they showed briefly, and then actually longer. They made sure they dumped on Wilder just, exactly twice as long, because they show a clip of Lomachenko, right? And what did Lomachenko say? I want my rematch. I think I won that fight. And he explained why he thought he won that fight. But Mark Kriegel ain't saying, oh, Teofimo Lopez give this great champion who's better than Ali, and actually better than Ali. Because they said that he was the best since a young Ali. Young Ali is like 1964. So Lomachenko was better than the Ali that beat Foreman. They were saying Lomachenko was better than the Ali that beat Frazier. They're saying that he's a better fighter than the guy that fought that killer, Ernie Shavers, and all those guys in the 1970s who are all damn near all Hall of Famers, and were all younger than him. But Lomachenko was better than him, but he doesn't deserve a rematch. How convenient. Now, see, Mark Kriegel, I find this interesting, that they call Deontay Wilder a sore loser, and they call Vasyl Lomachenko a sore loser, but they don't acknowledge the fact that Vasyl Lomachenko and Deontay Wilder are trying to get rematches. Now, why don't they deserve a rematch? Because they were sore losers? Is it sore losing that has Tyson Fury in court? No, it's a mediation clause. It's an alternative dispute resolution process that has him there. Not Deontay Wilder being a sore loser. Deontay Wilder said he thought he was cheating. He didn't pull out the fight. It's Tyson Fury that's pulling out the fight. It seems to me that Tyson Fury's a sore winner. Lomachenko ain't saying he don't want to fight Teofimo Lopez. He says he wants the rematch. Teofimo Lopez is the one saying, I didn't make $800,000. I lost $800,000 fighting Lomachenko. Something that is just patently ridiculous. Patently ridiculous. Seems to me that Teofimo Lopez is the sore winner. Now, let's talk for a second, though, about the idea of a sore loser. Because there was an incident that took place in Las Vegas, and we did a video about it yesterday about winning and losing. There was a young man that was named Rolly Romero, who is promoted by Floyd Mayweather Jr., that won a bet against a guy that was associated with Terrence Crawford. But guess what? Rolly Romero admitted that he hustled him. He cheated, but he still won. So I guess Mark Kriegel thinks the guy that lost his money in front of a bunch of people, right? In front of a bunch of people, should just walk away and say, oh, you cheated me. You took my money, didn't you? Oh, you're so... Tisk. You're just so smart. Gosh, good job stealing from me. That's not how it works, Mark. It's not how it works. The guy finds out, as a matter of fact, let's move it to Vegas. Let's move it to Vegas and see if you win $1 million in Vegas and they find you're counting cards. Oh, what do you think they're going to say? Hey, you were counting cards. Tisk, but you caught. No, they're going to throw you out. First of all, they're going to snatch you up. And then they're going to take you down somewhere where ain't nobody going to find you. Okay? They're going to call the police and they're going to put you in jail if they can prove it. If they can't prove it, say like a guy like me who could just count cards if he wanted to, because I got a whole bunch of family members that can just, if you're dealing 32 cards, they know what's in your hand, dog. Okay? And people like that, they don't let gamble. Because at the end of the day, it's mathematics. But it wouldn't even be cheating. But they still wouldn't let you gamble. Why? Because you're not gambling. If you know the math, you're not gambling. What you're doing is taking advantage of me when I'm trying to take advantage of other people who don't know how to do the math, right? That's the game. But they're not going to say, I caught you cheating and you took all my Vegas money. See, isn't it funny how when you point out cheating in that fashion, they'll be like, oh no. You can't do that. They will put you in jail if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, nobody will ever find out you stole nothing. But they may never see you again either. See what I mean? So it's like, what are you talking about, Mark Kriegel? Calling people sore losers that think that they were cheated. What you do when somebody thinks that they were cheated is you evaluate the circumstance and determine whether they were cheated. But they don't want to do that in certain circumstances. Not with Deontay Wilder, not for Vasyl Lomachenko. Why? Because their fighters of the year that they're trying to promote are Tyson Fury and Teofimo Lopez. So out with the old and in with the new. No, dude. Sorry, Mark. I don't believe you. Teofimo Lopez ain't no star, and Tyson Fury is a cheater. And it ain't sore losing because I wasn't in the fight. I didn't bet because I didn't know who was going to win. All I know is I'm glad I didn't bet, because if I did bet, I would be hot, because Tyson Fury wore skin gloves into that ring, and you know it. So it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.